Jaga, jiggy, jaga, jiggy, jaga, jiggy, jaga. Today, you know how I say, we pride ourselves on bringing you the alternative choices, for president, for governorship in Lagos and wherever. I've had quite a few of them here. Now, today, this has been cooking for a while. I've been waiting, simmering and just kind of letting it boil. But it is finally ready. Today, my guest, it's an honor because, it could potentially be Mr. Big Man and, I'll have to behave myself, Abby. It's an honor. It is a pleasure to have with me the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate for Lagos, that prestigious office, Lagos Governor. His name is Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. See, I can put on my deep voice. Gbadebo.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Happy to be here, finally.
We're happy to have you. It's been quite dramatic. That's why that's why we haven't been able to have you here. So that drama will get out of the way first and foremost, because I'm sure there are those listening thinking, is he going to talk about it? Is he not going to talk about it? Is she going to ask him? Yada yada yada. But before I ask him that, for confidentialness, the phone number 0700 993 993. The female only line is 01-465-7190. WhatsApp is 0809-597-5805. We are on Facebook, as you should know by now. Nigeria Info 99.3. We are on Twitter, Nigeria Info FM. We are on Instagram, Nigeria Info FM Lagos. Our website is nigeriainfof.fm. And of course, we're streaming live on YouTube. My producer, Mayoga, she told me today, Ma, you look beautiful, so come and see my beauty on YouTube, right? Live, Nigeria Info FM 99.3. I'm going to get straight to the interview. Don't start calling. You people have already started calling. Calm down. We shared the guest now. You know how it is. I get to talk to him first, and you people come after. Okay, and we have a heck of a lot to cover today because, like you, I want to know why and, what plans, what's it all about, why does anybody want to be governor of Lagos State when we Lagosians are so hard to please, never mind Nigeria. Gbadebo, you've been in politics since 2006, is that correct?
No, 2016.
16, I beg your pardon, 2016.
Yes.
Co-op party.
Yeah, co-op party.
Then PDP.
Yes.
You did very well. Senatorial district,
Yes.
Lagos West.
Lagos West. Yeah.
You came what, second?
Second, yes.
That's
Actually,
impressive.
I won that election.
Well, okay.
But you know what
Let's
happened.
talk about that win. I was going to ask you because you ended up going to court.
Yes, we went to tribunal.
And you lost the case.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Well, INEC refused to really participate in that tribunal. We tried to serve them, tried to get them to come into court. And just in terms of the evidence that we had to get in, we didn't do that, or we could not successfully do that in time. But I'm very glad that the Electoral Act now will prevent those kind of unfortunate stories from happening again.
Okay.
So I'm very hopeful.
Then you stayed in PDP.
Yes.
You moved with PDP, continued to work with PDP,
yes.
Build structures in Lagos, PDP.
Yes.
And then what happened at the primaries?
Well, at the primaries...
Because those of us who are watchers were expecting to see your name at some point.
Yes. The primaries was a situation where leaders of the party felt that, I'm younger... I'm at the moment.
You are 39, right?
Yeah?
Yes.
And they wanted the flagship candidate the candidate that emerged to emerge as a candidate, and for me to deputize him. And that was the agreement and the sole reason that I withdrew.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, a lot of intrigues and a lot of drama associated with that did not quite go to plan or go how it was agreed. I mean,
agreed.
20 local government chairmen endorsed me to be deputy governor. The BOT members of the party all put word out there and made it clear that we need somebody like this to balance the ticket out. But the flag bearer had other ideas, and I felt that it's important to pursue this vision for Lagos on another platform with the blessings of people and associates in the party.
So you're saying the PDP people who supported you all the way up to the primaries, etc., are still supporting you now?
Well, yes, because the fact of the matter is I did everything that I was asked to do. I embodied the Omoduabi essence of, okay, this is what we feel. You're elders, you're leaders, and you say that this is what you believe should happen, and I went with it.
Okay.
So unfortunately, the fact that a new entrant into the party, abused those norms and cultures in the party has really set things belly up.
Okay. Well, then one could easily say you've been obedient for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a natural move to LP, was it?
God has a very, unique way of working in ways that you can't even write yourself.
Right.
It could not have been a more perfect script because I have focused on my message has always been that once the people that are upwardly mobile, the people that believe in dignity of labor, the people that have the visions and ideas of how Nigeria can be better, get involved and participate in politics, our politics will never be the same.
Right.
It's unfortunate that they've left it out for the people that look at their voters' cards as things that they harvest every 4 years, people that don't really care about a manifesto. They care about how you can dance. They care about the boys you have on the streets. They care about how much you can share. And that's all our politics has boiled down to for so long. But with the obedient movement, you're seeing people that I call them the silent majority. Because the turnout in politics in Lagos is about 17-18%. So you have almost 83% of people that are staying out and sitting out of this necessary civic duty. And now they're inspired. And these are people that will come out, turn out and not be bought. These are people that have ideas of what vision should be for the state or for the country. And these are people that would hold their leaders accountable. And I feel that after 2023, elections in Nigeria will never be the same again. Because now a demography has woken up that can place demands and actually reflect the type of politicians that political parties throw up.
Now, here's the thing. So when you talk about vision, you said something which I must pull you up on. You said parties that don't have or candidates who don't have a manifesto. But the leader of the Labour Party said, and I watched him on TV saying, I don't need a manifesto. Go by what I say.
Okay, so for me, every politician has their way of selling their vision.
Okay.
Right? And manifesto, if I was running for president, I would have vision statements as opposed to a general manifesto.
Right.
Because every region has its particular needs and peculiarities and the different people. And then there's also the conversation about restructuring and what Nigeria should be. So, but for Lagos, I have a manifesto. I believe that, you need a vision and ideas and a pathway to the execution of these things. And it's extremely important. Lagos State is one of the most sophisticated states in Africa. And I say sophisticated not because it is run sophisticatedly, but the peculiar challenges we have. It has the smallest footprint, largest population, people constantly coming in an influx, and so much potential, right? So that's why I term it as such. And also the most cosmopolitan group of people that are in Nigeria gathered in Lagos State.
Well, you did say, or you do say in your manifesto that you want to create a collective wealth for all of us. So let's talk about that collective wealth.
Okay.
And we can't talk about, right now, we can't do any kind of,
campaign
stuff.
Exactly.
But I do want to understand what you mean by that.
Yes.
One of your vision is economic productivity and well-being.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So for me, the bigger idea is to create what is called the Commonwealth of Lagos. So think of it as a spinal cord that all the other policies come off on. So for instance, healthcare. Want to create a situation where health insurance is available for people at the lowest rungs of society, and you don't have to have a huge amount of capital to get treated. And then also partnering and decentralizing healthcare delivery. So for instance, there are things that you can work with your local pharmacy. There are situations where you just need to talk to a doctor, and you can talk to a doctor on the phone, not necessarily going to a hospital, right? There are treatments that you need to take, but you need a diagnostic test first. So as opposed to taking Agbo and then suffering liver damage and kidney damage later on, you can actually get a diagnostic test. So these are things we're trying to normalize with healthcare delivery micro health insurance, right? I've already done this in my campaign. So I've created a situation where we've insured about 500,000 people.
So when you've done in all your other time,
yes, in my campaign now,
prior to this,
yes, prior to this, and I know that it works,
right?
Because I partnered with Weller Health, and they partner with local pharmacies in different local governments. But let's put that aside. So in terms of what you're talking about, productivity and employment, we have so many young people, able-bodied men and women in Lagos State that are not really up to much, so you then hear them being called agberos, and they're asking you for money and things. So the idea for me is to create situations where we are using manufacturing to build on lengthening the value chain. So there are things that are being produced in Kogi, in Kebbi. How can we increase the value chain in Lagos? Right. And then export. You see, 8 out of 10 containers that come into Nigeria leave empty.
8 out of 10 containers.
And that also ties into the problems with Apapa. And the containers that are being moved that are empty, and the charges or the value that's then added to the person that's moving it. And it all ties into each other. So we want to increase the potential for Lagos to then also be an export hub, not just imports, right? Not just consumption, but production. And then also doing programs that bring these young people in, and it's a trade of skillful food, right? So the aim is to create the highest skilled workforce in Africa.
Okay. One of the things that I often say to people when they come on here, and of course, it's always easy to have the plan. The incumbent is actually trying to get things done.
Yes.
One of the things you talk about, and it's very apparent in, everything I read about you, is technology.
Yes.
You mentioned Apapa. For a fact, current governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is working with a company who have actually created an app in order to decongest Apapa.
Yes.
So how is yours different to that?
So Lagos State has made some progress in certain aspects.
Right.
But now it has to be taken to a whole new level.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with the system that they have, the call-up system that they have in Apapa. But there's still a lack of coherence with all the different actors, right? There's still a lot of human factors in it. So even when that system is supposed to be working autonomously, you have people still creating what will you say? Situations where there are people backups, they insert themselves, so it's not working autonomously. They insert themselves, and these are things that need to be changed with enforcement, with bringing proper dialogue, and having all parties' interest reflected in this new policy. So that is what I feel is lacking. But I have to give credit where credit is due. The call-up system is good. You can see that it's already started to make some progress, but it now needs to be taken to another level. That's what I feel about that.
You talked about health. Yes, of course, there's much more that can be done with health, but health is also very expensive. And you're talking about health for the masses. Lagos State currently has, I think there's a Lagos health insurance scheme for the masses, which, some could argue is relatively affordable for the masses.
Yes.
You're talking about partnering with the private sector.
Yes.
How are you going to be able to afford that?
Okay. So firstly, I feel that even if they say there's a health insurance, which it does, which there is, the accessibility to the people, the information being reached, and people just being able to get on this has not been something that has been done well. There's still a lot of people that are not aware of these things. I mean, for instance, in my campaign, I give out the cards, right? And people register, they call, and then they have the information at their fingertips that I can use this card now on a monthly basis when I need treatment. So with Lagos State, there's a lot of policy and a lot of work that is done that I feel is done for the ego of the government to say, we did this.
Right.
But it's not really being used by the people.
Right.
The essence of it was not done really for the people. It's about, okay, we've done this, so you can't really complain about this. We're working on this and we're working on that. The people policy has to be developed with the people in mind. You don't plan for people, you plan with people. That way there's
plan for people, you plan with people.
There's a higher take. There's a higher, so the beneficiaries of these things are actors also in the delivery and implementation of it. So there's a bigger uptake of these policies. And that also ties into policy failure. When you don't really carry people along, you just feel that you're going to impose ideas on the people that you're planning policy for, So in terms of healthcare, I believe that human capacity development is the way forward. It's not so much about building bigger hospitals or more primary health centers, which is necessary because we need self-sustaining local governments. I want a situation where if you're in Ajeromi Feludu, you don't need to leave Ajeromi to go to Ojo or to go to Amodofin to get quality healthcare. You should be able to go to a general hospital there. But before you do that, there should be a diagnostic center you can call to find out what is wrong with you. So we are not front-loading hospitals. There must be stages that you go through. To ensure that, when you're getting to the hospital can still operate at a good capacity where you don't need to come in if you don't need to come in, right? So primary healthcare, training that has to happen for the doctors at that level, and also diagnostic systems that also has to happen. And I feel that with the budget, healthcare education must be sacrosanct. They must be a priority. And we need more transparency and accountability in the way we govern Lagos, because there's so much money that they're saying there's no money, but there's so much money going in places that are not being accounted for. 120 billion plus is generated by the NERTW on a yearly basis. What do they use that money for?
That's just from the transport union.
Yes. What do they use that money for? Where is that money going? How do they?
So how are you going to distribute? How are you going to spend that money to improve? Because again, you bring on transport.
Yes.
Right. The blue line is coming up.
Okay.
There's those little white buses now. They're supposed to be, they call them last mile, first mile buses. You have the BRT.
Yes.
There's the fixing of the roads, and of course, here comes the ban, or the second ban, or part 2 of the Okada ban.
Yes.
Whatever you call it. What more do you think is missing? Because one could argue that you've got rail, you've got bus, in fact, the sea ferries or whatever it is that call them, that goes to my hometown in Ikorodu and all of that stuff. What more needs to be done in that space?
Oh, there's so much. Our transportation sector is mediocre at best. You have been trying to build a rail line system for over 10 years, something that I'm sure Alhaji Lateef Jakonde would have done in 3 years, right? And you find that when you talk to financiers, they will tell you they've approached Lagos State government and said, we can fund all of this. But they faced hindrances and a lot of, red tape because they are not ready to play ball. Alhaji Lateef Jakonde was able to achieve so much because his whole entire interest was putting people first. It was not about creating a situation where, the oligarchy or the state capture mercantilist type of government would always ensure that they are milking something for themselves. That's why the pace of development is so slow. And what we're coming with is freedom to actually implement projects without that baggage for the people of Lagos and putting them first. There are financiers that are ready to do the blue line, the red line, all the train lines at the same time, right? Just give them freedom to do that, right? Our focus should be ensuring that people get this in the most timely fashion at the cheapest possible price. That should be our sole concern.
But there's also that argument that says sometimes it's not the government, sometimes it's the people.
Right.
Is it not possible that the government of Lagos State is actually intending, and they are doing, but of course, perhaps the efforts are being frustrated?
No, I think the buck stops at your table.
Okay.
If you feel that people sitting there in 4 hours traffic is inhuman, because that's what it is inhuman. People have to wake up at 4-5 to leave. They don't see their kids in the morning. They get back, their kids are asleep, right? You're creating a system where parentage with children is going to be affected, right? So that is not human. And if that troubles you, you should ensure that these projects are delivered in the fastest possible time, best possible quality at the best possible price for the people. Aside from that, you were talking about ferries, right? There's a lot of lip service paid to water transportation.
Okay.
And there's no intentionality about it. I mean, ferries, one, should feel safe. People should feel safe. It should be normalized. In my manifesto, I talk about a card that also links back to the Commonwealth of Lagos that allows for seamless movement in a multimodal transportation system, right? So you come in to a car park, you pay with your card. board a ferry, which also has leisure activities planned around it. So it now becomes a normalized way of life. You know,
Right.
you're not just going to the ferry to go on a boat. You're going to the ferry because there's a bar there, there's a shop there, there's a proper development. I'm an architect. So I say to people, please allow me
To architect.
the new Lagos. You know, so you create a situation where movement by water becomes a way of life,
Yeah.
and then also the train. So it's a seamless mode of transportation. So a multimodal transportation system,
Okay.
reducing number of cars on the road, promoting technology and innovation using ride sharing, and also using new technology to fix our roads. For instance, there's thirsty concrete that can absorb 1,000.
Thirsty concrete.
Yes.
I'm going to have to put you on hold. We need to go on a quick break. If you're not listening to this conversation, you're missing. That's all I got to say to you. Missing. Big time. We'll be right back.
Inflation, the new currency. Fact remains that the common man on the streets needs to have a better deal. And this president promised, this is not a better deal. No, this is not a better deal.
Get informed on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The debaters are ready.
My name is Gbadebo.
My name is Anna.
My name is Brian McClemens.
My name is Ola Princess.
The panel of judges are ready. The judges have decided. The prize money is ready. 1 million naira. There's only one question left, Lagos. Are you, the audience, ready? It's the August edition of the I Beg to Differ debate tournament.
In my research, Nigeria sets out an increasing number of skilled workers.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, your moderator. Join me from August 8th as the best student debaters go head to head.
There are different safety measures that Okada riders do flaunt.
Weekdays at 4 on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM. This tournament is supported by Webster University, RLG Communications, obiwizi.com, Booker Hot, and Storm Body Spray.
Wait, Tinu, that voice sounds like Kemi's voice now.
Of course it is. Kemi is now a radio host. I listen to her every day and her programs are quite interesting.
How come? Is it not the same Kemi that hangs out with us in the
She's no longer in your league. Me too, I'll upgrade and become a filmmaker.
Ha, what is going on now? You guys are not my friends though. Now they tell me things, waiting they soft now.
Oh yeah, listen to waiting they soft. Now you Kemi they talk so.
Now you can learn new skills in the creative and cultural industries on Wazobia Academy, an innovative, accessible and professional online training platform for individuals with keen interest in audiovisuals and media professions. You can now become a professional in the music industry in series writing, filmmaking, fashion, or an on-air personality like me. Simply log on to www.wazobia.academy or download the Wazobia Academy app from the Google Play stores or iOS to see more details of online courses and registration. Wazobia Academy. Learn and lead.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info. Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Like I said, if you're not tuned in, if you're not listening, you're missing big time. Now, I want to talk education.
Okay.
Of course, we are, Nigeria Info, I Beg to Differ, has become one of the biggest events, which is our debate show for young people and the importance, like you said, of cerebral, just kind of engineering and inspiring people from a certain. And I know one of the things that I read about you is how passionate you are about history, and pushing for history to come back. So congratulations, because that's happening now, right? Lagos State has brought it back. When you look at, so for me, when I look at the education system in Lagos, I look at it and I think, well, it's better than other parts of Nigeria. But you clearly are not.
No, I'm not satisfied.
You're not satisfied.
I'm not content.
Why?
Lagos State was not called the center of excellence by fluke.
Okay.
We had some of the most cerebral people in Lagos State. I mean, some of the early fighters against colonialism were based here, and level of cerebral capacity in governance was something to be celebrated, but that's not the case anymore. And when you talk about history coming back in schools, yes, that's great, but I'm also interested in the quality of history that's coming back. I don't want to be hearing that Mongo Park discovered River Niger, because the colonialists put that in textbooks, and the
And so
Nigerians
it
that
must
have
be-
been in charge of our education have not taught better, that our ancestors were swimming in River Niger while the white people were still in caves in Europe.
Exactly.
Right? So it's despicable, to be honest. And we need to switch our education and history programs the citizenry to be what you want them to be.
Right.
Your history should celebrate people that you want your citizens to take a mold in. So you have to be very deliberate about it. You have to be very conscious about it. You need to also link your history to greatness of Africa, not just Nigeria. Your history cannot just start from when the European colonized us and everything before that was bad and evil. That way you create a mindset subconsciously that makes people always look outside of themselves for solutions to their problems. And this is what I mean when I say we need an education that prepares the Lagosian or Nigerian for the future, not what is currently even on hand for today. We need an education that produces people that value production as opposed to consumption. Most people go to school today to get a degree so that they can come out and buy a house and buy a car, send your kids to school. They're not really coming out with an idea of how they're going to produce, how they're going to be, innovators. Or, a lot of people are buying and selling. No, we want to produce. We want a production mindset. And that shift happens through education as well. I went to MIT, and regardless of what you designed, you must make something with your hand. You must produce. Right, and that's a culture that I've really that endeared me to the school. So when you bring it to us now, we need to have prefab or fab labs in every local government, so young people can go there. They have laser cutters, they have CNC routers, they can produce things. This is where this is where I feel education should be going to.
The leader of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, when I had him on this show, and of course one of the things that he's well known for is what he did with education in Anambra, and I think perhaps one could argue the most unique of that wasn't really about handing over the schools to the missionaries. A lot of people have done that. Was really about the partnership with Microsoft. And you talk about technology.
Yes.
How are we going to ensure, how do you intend to ensure that, the average student in Lagos, most of whom, 90% of whom don't have access to technology right now, how are you going to be able to do that? Lagos State is earmarking 10% of its budget this year to education.
Okay.
How do you intend to spend your budget, or do you intend to raise that 10%? To what percentage? Being that technology is important to you in education, especially as you went to MIT.
So I
doesn't
feel,
come more prestigious than that.
I feel that education budget needs to go up by at least another 10%.
Right.
Same thing with healthcare. I think those two are sacrosanct if you're trying to plant or build a citizenry for the future. And also, Lagos State is so peculiar and desirable to partner with, especially with international agencies. I know how in school famous architects, people like Rem Koolhaas came to study Lagos, took students under his wings, So Lagos State is very attractive in itself. So it's about setting that vision and reaching out to these institutions to say, listen, we're looking for partnerships, and creating an enabling environment for them to partner with us. And also localizing it and taking down to the local governments. And this is where local governments come in. You need credible, sensible people to be at the helm of affairs at that level of governance, so that these things can thrive. I want a situation where even down to LCDAs, you can come back from school and you can go to a fab lab and you have access to free internet. But it's not internet to watch movies. It's internet that shows you how things are produced. It's internet that allows you to have access to online education. Right? That's all it's for. And you can print as much as you want. You can read as much as you want. And it's 24 hours. It's secure. This is where we're trying to go to. We're trying to create new types of libraries. Not you just go pick a book. No. You're going to immerse in technology, because the way we learn now has significantly changed. Right? So these are the kind of ideas I want to see not just your time in school, but after school programs as well.
Okay.
That prioritize application of knowledge, not cramming. That prioritize production, right? And not just consumption. So these are the kind of, this is the vision for education for me. And also, sorry,
Go ahead.
but training teachers is important.
Yeah.
Building their capacity and ensuring that they are paid well. This is extremely important because these guys are the guardians of the minds of our youth.
Do you have the heart
future.
to sack teachers who are not up to the job, like Mr. El Rufai is doing?
Oh, certainly. There are going to be trainings, and we are going to increase how much you're paid.
Okay.
So now we have the right to demand and have high expectations of you. And you're going to sit exams, and there are going to be feedback loops. You see, good governance is not just about transparency and accountability. It's also about feedback, responsiveness. There must be that loop. We've invested in you. We expect this certain amount of development with our kids, with our youth. And if that's not the case, there's a feedback loop that has us correcting that.
Okay. I'll tell you now, for me, and I'm sure for my listeners, but I'm going to speak on a personal level. What happened with the masses, how the masses live, how they exist, how they are cared for is something that is important to me. It's dearest. It's possibly the most dearest thing to me. And I think, possibly for the average good person, right? Homelessness is a big deal in Lagos. Now, some would argue that homelessness comes, it's sort of par for the course when you're talking about big cities. Housing. How are we going to provide more housing? Now, Lagos State, of course, are building loads of houses. They're building loads of developments. I see it on the governor's handle. And, one can celebrate it. But the way it's expensive to build housing estates and low-cost housing estates. And therefore, in other parts, you have this sort of partnership with, the middle class and the lower working class. So where the middle class can actually buy and the lower working class, so you're able to subsidize.
Yes.
How are you going to fix the housing issue, affordable housing in Lagos State, without excluding what the masses can afford?
Exactly.
Because that's where the problem is.
Yes. So we're going to start from a micro level and go to a macro level. Micro level in the sense that we need to change and create a typology for affordable housing. You see, there's a major problem where you have a lot of young people that have to move long distances to work in places where land pressure is really high, right? So you're working on the island and you have to sit in 4-hour traffic to get there and go back and all of that. So in these places, we now need to create affordable housing units based on size, based on, if you're familiar with the capsule hotels or capsule apartments in Tokyo in Japan, you have what you need. You have a workspace, you have a sleep arrangement, you have your bed, So these are things that now need to be put in place and must be given to people that can not afford anything otherwise, right? A problem with implementation of projects in Lagos State is that, yes, they do affordable housing, but they sell it among themselves. And then you never find out that they're flipping it on the market at prices that people cannot afford. We need a transparent and accountable system by which people can actually get access to that affordable housing. And this ties into the Commonwealth of Lagos as well. So as long as you're a tax-paying citizen, you belong to the Commonwealth of Lagos. And there's a transparent means by which you can get on the property ladder. And if you're going to get access to affordable housing, it's based on a lottery system that's transparent and accountable, so we know who is getting these things. And ensuring that it's going to the people that need it, right? So that's at the micro level. On the macro level, in terms of urban planning, we need to open up Lagos. This centralization is too centered. We need situations where we're opening up places like Ikorodu, Ekpe, Badagry, or Jaw, those ends of Lagos State, and ensuring that we have self-sustaining communities so that the land pressures are not that high there. People have access to accommodation and access to industries that are employing people there. So that is the bigger urban renewal mindset and vision for Lagos State. But even aside from that, we need to introduce credit into this our system.
Credits. That's money.
Credit is so important.
Okay,
right?
We still have so much to cover. So first of all, you've got to promise to come back.
Definitely.
Once campaign starts.
Anytime you want me, I'm here.
Because you still got to be on the hot seat.
I'm here.
We can't dig too much. But I've got to talk about institutions.
Okay.
Lagos has institutions. You've got LASMA,
yes.
LASERA,
yes.
this. Again, when I talk about the masses, vis-a-vis what you said your vision is,
yes.
which is the collective wealth creation
exactly.
for everybody. Loma. I call them my Loma women because I walk in the morning and I see them, I connect with them, they greet me, good morning, or me.
Yes.
It's important. Yet, they hardly get paid anything.
Mm-hmm.
Loma, one of the things you did in your, when I was doing my research about you, your final thesis
yes.
was about waste to wealth and all of that.
Yes.
You
did your research.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely do. So tell me, Loma, waste, wealth, what is your vision for that? How are you going to do that? And then please, Lagos, I'm coming to you. I know you people are not happy. After this, I'm going to bring you in. This is our interview together. So get ready. You'll be able to interview him. Go ahead.
Okay. So I feel that waste is one of Lagos State's biggest resource.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not managed properly. It's wasted. Waste is wasted. You just have them using landfills. We need a situation where people are separating waste from their house. And there are different streams for these wastes. So organic waste is going separately, plastic waste is going separately, and all types of other waste are going separately. And we are ensuring that we're generating income from these things. The countries...
but Lagos State will tell you they're already doing waste to wealth since what? Since Ambode's time,
yes.
No?
There's a lot of lip service.
Okay.
A lot of lip service to it. I mean, if they're doing waste to wealth, we'll not be having landfills that are smelling across on the road when you're coming to the island from Ikeja, when you come out literally from Alausa, right? Because that is organic waste that is decomposing, that should be used for organic fertilizers or be used to generate biogas, right? It should not be filling landfills. So there's a lot of lip service in Lagos. Lagos is a really wash. If you leave Lagos, you believe Lagos is just Ikeja to Lekki. But there's so much more to Lagos.
Of
and
course.
there's so much more. We need to be real about these things. If we're going to be particular about waste, there needs to be solid policies, solid partnerships with the private sector and government to ensure that the plastics are being recycled properly. And there's a transparent accounting of how much we are generating. So this is now the subsidy that comes to your local government, because from your local government we generated so much in terms of waste to wealth. So your Loma fees will be reduced.
Now,
and then incentivizing people to separate their waste properly from home.
Right. The Loma women, they
Yes.
get paid abysmally.
Yes.
They don't even get minimum wage.
But that Loma woman situation is also
Yeah.
a racket.
All right.
Because there are people that the government gives these miles, and then they employ the women, and the women sweep, and they pay the women, and the government pay them. So there is a Chicago mafia style type of government that's happening in Lagos State, which is quite unfortunate, right? So we need a situation where these women, there is a policy that says this is how much they should be paid. We need to bring transparency and accountability to Lagos State. That is sacrosanct, and that will then create a life of its own. Where this women know this is what they should be paid, and if they don't get paid, they can report.
Okay. Right. The telephone number is 0700 993 993 993. The female only line is 01465 7190. WhatsApp on 0809 597 5805. We are on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3, Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos, website is nigeriainfo.fm, YouTube is at Nigeria Info 99.3. So they accuse you. One of the things they say about obedience is Labour Party doesn't have a structure.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you if you have a structure. I'm going to tell you there are over 13,000 polling units in Lagos now. Are you ready for that 13,000?
Yeah, we actually even need 26,000 people to man those polling units, right? So remember, when people say Lagos Labour Party does not have a structure, all the unions are under Labour Party.
So
those are people. Those are people. Now, it's one thing to not have structure, apparently. It's another thing not to have people that are willing to be the structure. Labour Party is not suffering from that.
Okay.
We have an abundant amount of people, and we're building structures all through, down to the polling units now.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to be in Alimosho tomorrow with structures. In
Alimosho has over 1 million inhabitants. Must be about 2 million now, because the last census was in 2006.
Yes.
So since Lagos has the low death rate.
Yes. It's a major local government for politics. So
All right.
we're going to be there tomorrow. Spend time with people.
Let's answer your calls. Hello.
Hallelujah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I like to share the mic with you people, but I have to start first. What's your name and where you calling
I'm
from?
happy it's going to come back again.
Okay.
We need a fresh breath of just a new beginning here in Lagos.
Okay.
Okay, I have 3 things to say.
Oh, you got 3K.
Wait, I'll rush it.
Okay.
2 is a suggestion.
Yeah.
1, for the waste management issue, I feel whoever cares to listen should monetize it. That if you're able to come to your house to pick up your waste, if you're able to separate your waste, bottles, organic and all that, you are going to reduce the amount you be paid every month for your waste management.
Okay, next one. We don't have time. You want to drop 3. After you, I'm cutting everybody to 1.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, quickly.
Then the other one is the housing. Now, you don't need to tell people to come and apply. All you need to do, just go to your tax net. The people, the low income earners. All you need to do, send them SMS. You've been qualified to get a housing, wherever. If you're interested, give him a link.
Do you have a question for him?
Now, my question is on Gbadebo.
Okay.
What do you need to do? These are the people that are going to make this very difficult for you to actually win.
Okay.
So what do you need to do concerning Gbadebo in Lagos?
Okay.
They are big menace.
Okay.
If you can.
Thank you. Okay. Don't answer. You need to write that down. Let's answer the next call. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Mr. Jory. I'm calling from Michelle.
Okay, Mr. Joy, go ahead. One question.
Yes, I want to know from the guest.
Yes.
How do new
Gbadebo
members...
Rhodes-Vivour.
Yes, how do new members register in Labour Party in Lagos? Where do we register?
Okay. All right. Stay listening, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, my first lady. How are you today?
I'm very well, my first sir.
AB from Songo.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, number 1, I want to ask our guest there, our Labour Party there. Number 1, that what is he going to do? I mean, will he abolish what we call Baba Sokwe? That is number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, to draw his attention on if you look at the situation the people are going through, especially workers in Lagos State, the 7 hours, and that's why the age expectancy in Lagos today, you look at a man of 40, he's looking like 70. So I want to suggest to him, because that's another catchment area, I want to suggest to him that if they can do from Monday to Thursday, let it be productive hours for the ministry workers.
Okay.
So by Friday, they use it to rest. Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday, they are already preparing for on Monday. When that productive hours, it will be benefit to the state government. So I want him to look at that area. God
Thank
bless
you.
Thank
Interesting suggestion. God bless you too. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Victor from...
Victor, talk to me. You have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
You said a huge amount of money transportation generated in Lagos and NUWRT generated in Lagos. So you have the Aboros collecting the fee and we don't know where it is going. It has been in Lagos. So what are you going to do differently?
Okay.
So that this huge amount of money that is coming out from that transportation section will be used in good stead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have a call on Skype, right? Hello? Hello? Are you there? I can almost hear you. Hello? Hello? If you're gonna call on Skype, you gotta be ready. You're calling from the abroad.
Yeah, of course I'm
Oh,
ready.
there you are. There you are. There you are. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Yemi from Canada.
Yemi from Canada. Yes. Question.
She does 1 minute. I've just been looking at the ages of the governors of Lagos when they took office, and it seems it's going up and it's going down. Like Mr. Tinubu was 47, Fashola was 44, Mara, who actually came before, was 43. So when he said something about the age, and I'm like,
he's 39.
Yeah, he actually has to go when he's actually quite young anyway. So I have two questions for him. The one on water transport, what does he intend to do? Because I know you asked him something about Ikorodu, and Lagos State government has been saying so much about that. So how does he intend to expand that to Badagry, all those areas that are connected to the water?
Okay.
The second one is waste management, like the caller earlier said. How does he avoid repeating the mistake the last governor of Lagos State had? And the third one has to do with this.
I'm only letting you off because you're calling from the abroad. Quickly. From the abroad. You're laughing. Quickly now. Are you there? You snooze, you lose. Okay. Right. Let me take this and then I'll give you a chance to answer those questions. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes.
Your name, please?
My name is Olivia.
Okay, Olivia, go ahead.
You just mentioned something that Labour Party is the party of the union. Considering that NURTW is also a union, and Kola already mentioned that they are a strong force in Lagos, it appears to me that they are going to continue to support the Labour, the NURT. I mean, they are immense, like one caller said. So how are you going to assure Lagosians that being a Labour party, you are not going to use NURT as your instrument, as some other parties have done in the past?
Okay.
And, make life more tougher and Lagos more tougher for residents.
Thank you so much. Right. You have several questions. I think some of them are the same. And you might have addressed them. So you've got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think the first one I will touch on is the Agberu situation, or the people that people call Agberus.
Yeah.
Right? It's very unfortunate that such young people, able-bodied men, have become the scourge of problems in Lagos State. But what I believe and what I feel, and this ties into my policy for the Commonwealth of Lagos, is this pyramid system where people accumulate so much money and send it up without any transparency and accountability, without any recourse to themselves, where they can say these are the advantages. And to move up on that pyramid, you must be violent, you must be a tool in the hand of politicians. This has to go. There needs to be a more level system where if you are a member of the NURTW, funds that are made are transparently accounted for. You have access to healthcare insurance. You have access to bursary for your children to go to school. The idea is now to create a situation where you are doing a social engineering where, because the children are going to school, are having healthcare insurance, are having systems working for them, there is more value to the humanity of these people. You see, when so many people have nothing to lose or feel they have nothing to lose and they can only advance in life based on violence and, intimidation and, just milking the regular Lagosian, that creates a problem in society. So we're going to social engineer our way out of that.
Okay.
These funds can no longer just be going up without being accountable.
Okay.
If you're a member of the union, you get value in terms of health insurance, in terms of being a member of the Commonwealth of Lagos. And aside from that, it's very important that these systems are now automated.
Right.
We don't want people running on the road after people anymore, right? These people are going to be given an alternative means in which they can express themselves and become more productive members of society. And I talked about this earlier on with the skill program and empowerment programs that they'll be engaged in.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing, someone talked about abolish Baba Sokwe. The wonderful thing that we have going for us in Labour Party is there's no
Baba that's
there's no
Sokwe.
Baba ahead. So we have the free range to execute and implement projects for the sake of the people and putting the people first.
Okay,
so
let's
the
go
people
to the
are the
next
Baba
one.
Sokwe.
Okay, the people are the Sokwe's.
Yes, we are servant leaders. Then water transportation plans.
Yes, water transportation.
So, like I said, in terms of the water system, the transportation system, we need to create a mode of transport that's all inclusive. So it's not just a ferry, it's a development on that bank. So you have small market stores, you have shops, you have offices.
But it currently just goes to Ikorodu, or does it go anywhere else?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It needs to be expanded. Also, there's the idea that we have where we're going to push the 10 bridge project in 4 years, where we're going to partner with the private sector to do all of that and have a seamless enabling environment. So you're not kicking back to government.
Okay.
You're coming and you're implementing things in the most enabling, comfortable way possible, because the idea is to make lives of Lagosians much better.
All right.
So for me,
I think, was that the last question? Are we going on break? We can still fit. Okay.
Yeah. So there was also a talk about Agbiros and NERTW and them being a problem.
Yes, because you did say
elections. Yes.
Labour Party and the unions.
The union is under Labour Party. Obviously, there are people that are more tied to particular government officials. But
is NURT under the Labour Party as well?
Yes, it's under the NLC. The NLC is the father of the Labour Party.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So the idea would be this: 17% voter turnout happens in Lagos every 4 years. Once we have 2-3 million people come out to vote, how many people are these Agbiros?
But what are you going to do with MC Oluomo? I could tell MC Oluomo.
They try.
He exists.
They try to do things.
Is he not a member of NLC?
Well, I think with the NERTW problem and the fight with Lagos State, they now have their own situation going on. But the fact of the matter is, our people are going to be on ground.
Right.
And we are going to repel any threats to people that come out to vote in our strongholds. That is not going to happen again. What happened in Okota in 2019 is not going to happen. Mr. MC Oluomo, it's not going to happen again. We are not going to take people's ballot papers and burn it in front of them. It is not going to happen.
Fighting Talk Lagos. Are we going on a break? We're going on a break. Like I said, if you are not listening to this conversation, you're on your own. Big time. We'll be back after the break.
Download our mobile app by searching Nigeria Info FM on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Also, get news updates in sports, entertainment, news, and current affairs right on the app. 99.3 Nigeria Info.
My name is Brian McClemens.
My name is Ora Princess. The panel of judges are ready. The judges have decided. The prize money is ready. 1 million naira. There's only one question left, Lagos. Are you, the audience, ready? It's the August edition of the I Beg to Differ debate tournament.
In my research, Nigeria sets out an increasing number of skilled workers.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, your moderator. Join me from August 8th as the best student debaters go head to head.
There are different safety measures that Okada riders do flaunt.
Weekdays at 4 on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM. This tournament is supported by Webster University, RLG Communications, obiwizi.com, Booker Hot, and Storm Body Spray.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
In the heart of Lagos. News, talk, and sports. Only on one dial. 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, I have WhatsApp messages. Good afternoon, Ireti. Your guest, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, is the quintessential Nigerian youth in politics. He has a wonderful relationship with the younger generation, millennial and the older generation. He understands what young people are yearning for. Following him all these while fueled my passion for politics. I wish him the very best. That's from Namdi in Festac. What else have I said? Oh, yeah, I do hear that a lot. What somebody said is, hello, Ireti, has anyone told you have an uncanny resemblance with Kadri Ahmed, your fellow broadcaster? Yes. Kadri is a friend. Yes, everybody tells us we look alike. Yes, we've accepted that we look alike. And one day we're going to do a photo shoot. So there, no more questions about Kadri, and she sometimes listens. Right, here we go. Hello, Danfo. My name is Shumaga. I am obedient and useful. Okay. What stands Pio out in his people-centric brand of politics, while both of his opponents are elitists? That alone is not enough for me. Any politician who's literally bought their way to power or their political life will most likely not put the interest of the ordinary people first. The cultist. But what question do you have for my guest? I'm not interested in that. If you're going to send a message, make sure it's about my guest. Right. Oh, somebody wants to know about whistleblowers. Okay. Let me go here. What will he do about the problem of drugs amongst the youth? There you go. That's a good one. Thank you. Sandra, no. Cecile Gay. Here we go. Gotta screw that up. I can't find your message. I can see it, but I can't find it. I can see it. I'll scroll again. I'll refresh. Right. There we go. Okay, let's go to the phones and I'll try and refresh because I can see the message, but I can't read it. Right, we have a message on Twitter from at Sunny, replying to Nigeria. In fact, Cecil Lagos and NG Labour. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than voice. Not when you get there and start giving us excuses of you met a lot of problems on the ground, which is frustrating your efforts. So think twice. That's from Twitter, right? You can respond to that. Should we answer more calls? Hello? Hello? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from? Pardon?
The debaters are ready.
Shoaga, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for Jerry. You mentioned in passing LASMA, Lagos State institutions, LASMA.
Yeah, we're about to go to the news. Quickly.
Yeah, and I'm worried about the quality of staff.
Okay.
How they recruit staff. They're very rude.
Oh,
and
okay.
sometimes come across as, touts.
Okay.
So does GRV have, a plan, to improve the quality of Lagos State staff or how they recruit staff?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last question I've got for you here is CCOK/GRV. What is your plan for the transportation system? How are you going to fix the present arrangement? What are your plans for intercity roads in LG and LCDA? What are your plans to re-engineer the administration of Gs? You can answer all of those when we come back from the news. My girl Yvonne is here. She's got the news.
It's 2 o'clock. The headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
On the headlines this hour, NBC orders shutdown of 54 broadcast stations over debt. Police confirm death of 2 in Ikotun church stampede. Lagos State extends Okada ban to more local government areas, while Nigeria spends over 18 billion naira daily on petroleum subsidies. NBA annual general conference starts today in Lagos. President Buhari orders military to fish out and eliminate terrorists. Court fixes October 12th to hear Tinubu's certificate forgery suit, while Peter Obi accuses opposition of spreading fake news. Federal government says no work, no pay policy, prolonging ASU strike. Minister of Education denies getting presidential order to resolve ASU strike in 2 weeks. Abuja Environmental Protection Board threatens to shut down cemeteries. And storms in Europe claim lives of 12 people in France, Austria, and Italy. Those were the headlines. I'm Yvonne Haifo. This is a Danfo Conversation with Ireti Bakare-Yusuf on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon.
Welcome back to Danfo Conversations right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, we are, this is it, right? Last 20, 25, 30 minutes where I start begging for time. So the snooze, you lose part. All right. But let me give you 5 minutes to answer those questions you have there.
Yes.
Some of them are a bit repetitive, so feel free to move on.
So there was a really good one about drugs among the youth.
That's right, yes.
The idea will be to create alternative quality of life for young people in Lagos State and localize it down to local governments. For instance, we want to see boxing matches and boxing, like an entire league, right, among local governments. So instead of having all that aggression pent up, there's a means by which, sports can channel all that energy and also reward for it. So
but what about the
for talent.
rehabilitation?
Yes,
Because,
I'm getting to that.
Yeah?
So there's that, and then once you have these networks, right, you can then be able to meet young people that are dealing with this situation. So there's the enforcement arm of it, and then there's the rehabilitation arm of it, right? And these two have to go hand in hand. So you cannot just criminalize the fact that you're a drug abuser, but you can criminalize the fact that you're selling drugs.
Right.
So they
so
need to
criminalize the selling, not
and then
the user.
yes, and then have the welfare system go into rehabilitation for these young people and make sure that they're put back on track and they get the help that they can get. And also, for instance, with the DVRT in Lagos State and the rape situation and abuse situation, you now see the welfare system that's created around victims or survivors of all of these things. We need to apply something similar with the drug abuse and sale of drugs in Lagos State. So that's the first thing. Youth centers, actually having policies that are very youth centric and get involvement of youth in Lagos State, especially at the local government level. In terms of another brilliant question that was asked was the quality of recruitment of people.
That's right.
That come into
that they behave
agencies.
like touts sometimes.
Well, the problem is that, you see, a lot of these agencies are used as a way of patronage by the government for their loyal party men. So there isn't really much substance to it apart from we'll give you a job and you'll be earning this amount of money, right? So what we're trying to see moving forward is having a situation where there's a proper training that happens with people. Like I said, good governance is also about responsiveness as well. If there should be a complaint hotline for the police, and this goes back to the NSAR situation. Right. You need a situation where there's an arm of government that's focused on managing relationship between the interface, which is the police and these institutions of government, with the people. And if you have issues, you can call. And when you call, there'll be repercussions. Right.
Okay.
And this also ties into a system of ring surveillance in places in parts of Lagos. So there's evidence, right? So our decision making is evidence based, is data driven, right? So those kind of solutions.
Somebody asked a question earlier, which we didn't get to answer, about how they joined the Labour Party.
Okay. Yes, that question was asked. So on Twitter, the NG Labour, right, has resources by which you can reach out to the list, the state chairman, the functions of the party secretariat and all of that. So social media is good. If you follow me, GRV Lagos, I'll also be able to direct you to your ward or your local government chapter and be able to move things forward.
Let's talk about, obviously, you're going to be facing PDP. Yeah. You're going to be competing with PDP. You're going to be competing with APC.
Yeah.
What do you think their advantage over you is?
Well, I think the advantage that the APC might have over me is that over 20 years, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu has groomed a voter demographic. So in terms of the Alojas, the Babalojas, the non-Lagosian Yoruba Muslims, a lot of these people are just, it's like their culture. It's their, I don't want to call it religion, but they feel that this
affinity.
Is their person. They feel the affinity to him. Well, the good thing we have going for us is we're grooming our own voter demographic, right? That listen and we speak the same language with them. And they're not trying to listen to the language that they are speaking.
Right.
So that is their advantage. We have our advantage as well.
Okay. So, and how are you going to hedge that? Because there's one thing to be said. You said it rightly. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done a great deal, in growing. And yes, you do have yours. Yeah. So how do you intend to hedge your positioning against that?
Well, that's the work of INEC, right?
Right.
My job is to ensure that I prefer solutions to problems. I sell my vision in a way that people can understand. And I wake up this sleeping silent majority. Unfortunately, they're already awake. So I don't even have to preach to the choir much this time. You have people that are registering to get their voters cards. 60-70% of people that have voters cards are staying at home. And they do so because they've looked at what is being offered and they're not inspired. And that is going to change in this 2023 election. And fortunately, like I said earlier when we started, God's hands, work in mysterious ways. You have electronic transmission of voting.
Yeah.
So now you can no longer, like what was done to me in 2019, hold back local governments from releasing results and then wait and add up all your other local governments before you then start releasing. No, that's not happening
That's
again.
not going to happen.
So by God's grace, the voice of the people are going to be heard in this next election. And you know what they say about the voice of the people? The voice of God.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. Now, hold on. I have a question here. I pray with chains all these bad governor in Lagos State. Okay, against all these bad governance in Lagos State. I think they tried to say. How do we register as a member? Well, we've already answered that question. Uche from Surulere, can you counter the trade and money strategy of the APC? Which to me is one of the means of vote buying. Aha. Because here's the thing. Every party claims they are not buying votes, right? However, one of the things that we did learn from Oshun is that every party takes part in voter buying. How are you going to either counter that, or if you're not going to be part of that, what are you going to do?
I think that, you see, every local government has its peculiarities. The message we're pushing is that the working class, and Labour Party is really about workers, the working class, people that can afford not to take 500 naira or 1,000 naira and their world do not come to an end, they come out to vote. These people are not going to be looking for your money on election day. And I feel that Lagos State is going to take the lead in that. I mean, it's one thing to talk about that happening in Osun or in Ekiti. It's another thing to talk about it in Lagos.
Okay.
I go for political meetings, and it's so refreshing that a lot of people come and they're not asking for transport money to go back. They're volunteering their time. In fact, one of the major problems Labour Party has right now is ensuring that there is a conduit for financial donations and is going to the right person.
And is that also includes Lagos Labour?
Yeah, I mean, Labour Party in general. There are people that want to give. You see, so democracy is a two-way street. Unfortunately, the citizenry has been very irresponsible and has gone to sleep, but then just hopes on a dream that they will have good governance, as though God will send angels to come and govern the state. So you have a situation now, people are taking responsibility. They're giving their time, they're giving their money, and they have capacity to vote. And I say to people, even if you don't have a voter's card today, you can focus on ensuring that 10 people that you know with voters' cards come out and participate.
Right.
So the game has not ended because you don't get a voter's card. You can be committed to getting 5 to 10 people to vote for your interest on the day of election, which should be me.
Okay. 0700 993 993 993, and the female only line is 01465 190. WhatsApp is 0809 597 5805, and we're on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3, Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos, website is at Nigeria Info FM. You can also leave a comment on our website, by the way, and of course we have a chat room, and we're also on Skype. We just spoke to somebody in Canada. Let me answer more calls. Hello.
How are you?
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Engineer Niyi from Yaba.
Engineer Niyi, talk to me. You have one question.
Great Rhodes-Vivour.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I want to emphasize, I want you to de-emphasize the fact.
To de-emphasize what?
The issue of National Union of Road Transport Workers be under NLC.
Oh, okay.
Even from the national level, they have their allegiance to some other parties.
Right. Yes.
You even know the number of NERW in Lagos. They are about 7,000.
I need you to ask your question.
Given to them by the ruling parties that all of them should go and sleep in their garages on the day of election. So if you are going to counter it,
Sir, I need to hurry you up. This is the quick fire round. Your question, please.
My question is that how he is going to, I'm making a template. How he is going to get around that those people that want to, you know their faces when you see them, how they are going to walk in their garages, the polling booth very close to their garages. How would they not manipulate election during the election day?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
That is what I want to tell him.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have a message here on WhatsApp. Hello, Ireti. What happened to calling Mrs. Oge today? Why have you been watching him on? Have you been watching him on YouTube and thinking I'm no longer the Oge in the studio? What's up with you? Hello, Ireti. I'm just hearing about your guest for the first time. He seems to have real solutions to existing problems from what he has said. I'm impressed and pray for a fruitful cause.
Amen.
Okay, there you go. Where do we have it? I wish him luck, but I don't see him going very far. He's too young for the task ahead, and all his ideas on how to solve the problems of Lagos to me is watery and unrealistic. Okay, where are we here? This is the trend amongst we the youth. This election season that has been trending, has been breeding tribal hate, where you indigenes of Lagos now see many. No. I think that's probably for the wrong way. Okay, I can see your message again. I'll have to refresh. Right, I'll have to refresh because I can see your message, but I can't read it. Right, let's answer more calls. Hello? Hello? Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, my first lady.
Yes, my first sir. Go ahead. What's your question?
I want to say that I said the life expectancy in Lagos is about 56. Because if you look at people now in Lagos State, especially the ministry workers and all, they look like 80 years. And many of them are there. Why? Because of the way the man hours they spend and all. I want to suggest to him, I said, if assuming it's Monday to Thursday, they put in productive hours from Monday to Thursday, and Friday, they give them Friday.
Yes, you said that earlier. You said that earlier.
No, he has not answered.
Yeah, he'll answer it. I'll give him a chance to answer it. Thank you. Hello? 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 You have to turn your radio down, please. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes.
Mrs.
Oluwashola.
Mrs. Oluwashola, go ahead with your question.
I've been listening to you.
Okay, thank you.
I say, let me call in
Okay.
order to save Lagos State.
Okay.
I think the market people in Lagos State, they are in bondage.
Okay.
Because every election, the Yoloja, those people that head the market, call them and make sure they force them to vote for the those people they don't want to vote for. I think that is why they take over their market. You need to do something on that.
Okay.
It's all over, people own the market.
Okay.
But Lagos State took over the market from them. I will go more on that another time. But another thing I want to talk on the polling unit.
I need to hurry you up.
You need to have all the polling unit where they are. Because INEC said they have created more polling units.
In Lagos, there's 4,300 more.
Politician houses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you have to turn your radio down, please.
Where am I?
Yes, good afternoon.
Please, I want to give kudos to our flag bearer of the Labour Party.
Okay, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour.
Yeah, please, I don't have a question to ask him, but I just want to let him know that there are some people on the street.
Okay.
You know, there are most people that they didn't know that people starve or didn't have a plate of food on their table to sleep for the day because they come from a wealthy family. So if you have the privilege to be the governor of the state, let him remember the youth.
Okay. Thank you.
We are behind them.
Okay.
We are waiting for the day of the election.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Hello? Oh, we have a message on Twitter? Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. What's your name, please? Yes.
Good afternoon, Sisioge.
Good afternoon. What's your name, please?
My name is Chief Ikechukwu Okafo.
Chief Ikechukwu, go ahead with your question, please.
Yes, I want to greet the
our friend.
Our guest, yes, Gbadebo. If you don't remember his name, I don't know how you people are going to vote for him. Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. They call him GRV.
Yes, that's something he said that touched me.
Okay.
He spoke about Vos Deu, Vos Populi Vos Deu.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very big word.
Okay.
Because of people, because in Lagos is confusing people because it was sometimes a federal capital territory.
Yeah.
It look as if the people that have ruled they've done nothing. I've told somebody that in Lagos it's an island surrounded by water. That is Lagos, but there's no any place that's pipe-borne water running. It's all of Lagos. No water. The question from heaven. There's no water in Lagos where you can open shower and get water to drink.
But I need your question.
So my point is that I don't have much question. I'm not saying that it's supposed to that let us wait by the grace of God.
Okay.
And let him, if he wins, let him make sure that there's water, buy water for the whole Lagos.
Okay.
Let me remember today.
Okay. All right.
So.
You mean drinking water? Is that what you're talking about?
Drinking water. Yes.
Okay.
There's nowhere in Lagos.
It's
clear.
clearly.
They've done something. APC said they've done nothing.
Right. Okay. You're talking about the liberal availability of drinking water in Lagos.
Yes. God will guide him.
Okay.
God will guide him and let him remember us for water.
All right.
We are solidly behind him by the grace of God.
Amen. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello. This is you know how it works here. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Jide. I'm calling from Lagos.
Jide, go ahead with your question.
Okay. So Mr. Gbadebo, congrats once again. My question is, because for me, I like to be very practical, and I like the fact that your enthusiasm about changing the narrative of Lagos is a very strong one, because I see a lot of strength in you. But my major question is, would you have gone into Labour Party from PDP if it wasn't having this attraction that it is having now because of Peter Obi? Because I remember you used to be in Kowa Party, which I loved so much, but for some reason I saw you in PDP, and I must be honest, I lost my confidence in you when you moved to PDP. Okay. And then when you now moved to Labour Party, and I was like, okay. So my question, that's the question I want to ask.
Okay.
Let me understand the reason why you had to move from PDP
to Labour Party. Right. Okay, that's a good question, but I think we did address it earlier. Let me answer this call and then I'll give you an opportunity to answer all the questions. Okay, hello. Hello. If you people start calling last minute, haba now. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is a calling from Ogun State, Odogbolu.
Yes.
I want to ask, how can we remove the voting on Saturday and put it in any other?
That's a question for INEC. That's a question for INEC, I'm afraid. It's not.
I think the man there can.
The candidates cannot. That's INEC, I'm afraid. Right.
You mean it?
Yes, absolutely. It's a suggestion to INEC. So next time INEC is here, you can ask them that. Gbadebo, you've got literally 6 minutes to answer all of those questions.
A lot of them are more suggestions.
That's right, than questions.
Inquiries than real questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was conversation about NERTW, NLC, whether they're under. Obviously, the Labour situation and the union situation is very peculiar because there's never really been a politician that's galvanized it the way Peter Obi has. I mean, before this, it was mimical. But so you have a situation where the unions are obviously in tandem with some government and government officials. So again, like I said, we would also have our alternative approach to security, and we are working to ensure that the sheer number of people that come out to vote will overwhelm whatever plans that they have, especially now that you can, election results are going to be transmitted directly. So there's only so much they can do. You talked about vote buying,
absolutely,
and all of that.
Yeah.
And I talked about how we're creating a whole new voter demographic. And I mean, the watchword of Labour parties, we know they give shishi, right? so the idea is that...
Are you sure they don't give shishi?
Well, I mean, maybe we'll set our expectations low and then we'll surprise people at the end of the day. But the idea is that there are going to be a lot of people that will come out to vote that are not looking for anything to be given. Right? I want to talk about what this gentleman said about, me moving from Kowa Party to PDP. I think that one consistent thing that people should understand is I never went to the ruling party. Right? there's a consistency in that, and that should show.
Why? Why not though?
Because everything I detest about Lagos has been their responsibility.
Right.
From the murder of late Funshaw Williams to everything about Lagos State, everything about the inefficiency of Lagos State. PDP has not produced local government chairman. They produced some House of Reps, produced some state assembly members. They've not produced a governor, right? And the state capture that has happened, where it seems the government and Lagos State is run for the benefits of one person and his interests and the people that have proximity to power, is something that has really derailed the destiny of over 20-something million people that live here.
Okay.
And I feel Lagos State can be so much more. So by principle, you always find me in the opposition.
Okay.
Right? So at least give me that.
Give me that. Here's the thing. We've got like 2 minutes left. My old guy is ready to throw us off. I need you to answer this for me.
Okay.
One of the things, and a lot of people listening to you here, and I've had messages on my WhatsApp, is that, it sounds like the elite. Does this one understand Yoruba even? I mean, as in, MIT graduate, how is he going to connect with the people on the street, the masses, the people who are important, the voters? How?
Please, they should remember that I've run Senate before.
Okay.
Don't be fooled by
the accent. Don't be fooled by MIT.
Don't be fooled by MIT. Even when I wanted to get into politics, I did not go to Oxford to go and learn about politics. I went to Unilag. I did a master's in research and public policy from the Department of Political Science.
Okay.
Right? So I need an empathy.
Right.
Listen, if you have empathy and you mean well, people can see that.
Right.
And that's why I got the kind of numbers I got in 2019.
And you sure you're going to get it again?
Oh, definitely. We're going to do much more.
Much more. Well, Lagos, that is the end of the show. Like I said, don't be calling us last minute because you had time. Gbadebo, thank you so much. You've got to come back because when the campaign begins proper, we have to have a really, interrogative conversation. This downfall was not Jaga, it was jiggy enough.
It was jiggy.
It was jiggy?
Well, I was prepared for Jaga.
Okay. Lagos, that's the end of another show. Have a wonderful weekend. Be well and look after each other. Bye.
.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
When there is news, we report it.
What about conversation? We bring it. The debaters are ready. The panel of judges are ready. The judges have decided. The prize money is ready. 1 million naira. There's only one question left, Lagos. Are you, the audience, ready? It's the August edition of the I Beg to Differ debate tournament. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, your moderator. Join me from August 8th as the best student debaters go head to head. Weekdays at 4 on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM. This tournament is supported by Webster University, RLG Communications, obiwizi.com, Booker Hot, and Storm Body Spray.